Play Safeway's $1 million score and win. If any Winnipeg player scores 5 goals in tonight's game, John Markowski of Saskatoon could win $1 million. Shop and swipe at Safeway. You could be our next lucky winner right here on TSN Jets. Jets one game under 500 on the season, one game below 500 on the road at 8-9-1. Andre Pavlik 1-5 in his last 6 decisions. Will start in goal for the Winnipeg Jets. And Ilya Bryzgalov, who signed on November 8th, he is in nets for the Edmonton Oilers, coming off a tough game for him and his teammates on Saturday. Kyle Raymond, Brian Fox Ferrier, your referees, Johnny Henderson and Mike Civic are your linesmen. The Oilers got out for the good start against St. Louis. They outshot the Blues 14-5 in the opening period. And then after that, it fell apart. They were outshot 28-9 in the last 2 periods. And the Oilers carried it into the Jet zone. Trying to work it up front was Nick Schultz as he jumped all the way down in behind the Jets net. Andrew Ladd tries to slide this ahead, and center does. And Blake Wheeler will propel it on into the Edmonton zone. Ilya Bryzgalov mishandles it and fires it up the glass. Ladd breaks it up, trying to get it back to the line. And now Adam Hardy is in a foot race on that far side with Hemsky, and Hardy wins the race. To the Oilers line. This does not get deep, and Justin Schultz for Taylor Hall. Trying to get a step on Toby Enstrom. Into the slot. Big save as Pavlik got it low. Only chance by Justin Schultz. Back for Michael Frolik, and Bryzgalov steers that away. Schultz, 2 of them in the lineup. Justin Schultz, a right-hand shot. Dick Schultz, a left-hand shot. And Andrew Ferris, who came over as an unrestricted free agent in the offseason, has it for the Edmonton Oilers.
The Jets have to get the puck deep on a regular basis. Make Edmonton play in their own zone. The Jets have already given up one great chance to Schultz already because they didn't get it deep.
Yes, they Yoensu, cross ice for Gagne. To the front of the net, team, that bounces away. Back to the line, slap shot, cleared away by Andre Pavlik as Belloff let that one fly. Back out in center, Belloff snaps this back into the Jet zone all the way around the boards, and there's Mark Stewart on it. Tries to get it ahead for Thorburn, Jokinen there as well, but Sam Gagne's on it. Back to the blue line, it comes for Belloff. For Yoensu. Back for Gagne, got away from him, Jokinen. Slides it ahead for Mark Stewart, and Stewart to find Setaguchi. He'll whip this in, glove save Bryzgalov, and with Chris Thorburn coming in looking for a loose puck. Ilya Bryzgalov is going to pick up.
Andre Pavlik really bailed out the Winnipeg Jets. The first good scoring chance of the game for Edmonton on the rush. A good job by Hall to control the puck. And all the Jets are looking at Hall. In comes Justin Schultz from the point. What a great scoring chance. And a terrific save by Pavlik. Tim Horton's game plan. Don't forget to defend for the Jets. Just because Edmonton lost 6-0 last game, and steady as she goes, because Edmonton did lose like that. They played a good first period, as you said, Dennis, and then they let it fall apart. They have to hang in there more often.
As always, game plan brought to you by Tim Hortons, Canada's favorite coffee. Zach Bogosian being hounded in the corner by Luke Gadsden. Came to the side of the net. Enstrom knocked it back in behind, and Zach Bogosian will take it. Ahead for James Wright, trying to slip this for Anthony Peluso, was in behind him. Wright breaks this up at center, comes right back in with Eric Odell, and they're going to say that Odell was offside on the left wing. Jets pass holders, watch for the Jets Rewards bonus code during tonight's game. Enter the code by logging into Jets Rewards and receive 50 bonus points, redeemable for unique Winnipeg Jets benefits and experiences. Jets Rewards, reward your passion.
This should be more of a free-flowing game as far as line usage, I would think, unless some of the Edmonton Oilers really get full of themselves and they have to do something about it from Claude Noel's standpoint. There was more line matching up when you play against the Sedins last night.
Alex Hemsky, the shot to the short side. That was stopped by Pavlik. Battle down low. Boyd Gordon is after it. Brian Little takes it away from him. Off for Ladd and on to Bufflin. Bufflin for Wheeler was in behind him. He was trying to find where that puck was, and at the same time, keep an eye on Nick Schultz, who was closing in on him. Schultz, the former Prince Albert Raider, plays this all the way through the middle. No one home. And icing is called against Edmonton.
Well, you want to be a general manager in the National Hockey League, you're going to go through some ups and downs. There's Craig McTavish, the GM that Edmonton took over this year, said he wanted to be aggressive when he took over. I remember the speech that he made the first day that he got the job. It has been a long grind so far this season with a lot of losses.
Adam Party, the shot deflected by Blake Wheeler wide. Back to the line. Party has it again. Gets away from Hemsky. Tried to get it to the front of the net. And that got steered away by Jeff Petrie. And he'll send this back into the Jet zone. Bufflin has to go after it. Ryan Smith looking for a line change, but made sure that Bufflin had to go back all the way into his own zone. Be careful where that loose puck went. Up the right side boards. Oilers with some speed. Taylor Hall, and they're going to call this a glove pass. And Taylor Hall in full flight can be a handful.
Yeah, the Jets don't want to see a lot of that. This guy is a real dynamic player. You get him going full of confidence and going full speed through the neutral zone. He's up there with Evander Kane and the players that are the fastest guys in the league. Tremendous hands. You give him that room, he's going to hurt you. You've got to stay tight to him in between the blue lines as often as you can.
Taylor Hall said this morning, at the end of the night, we have to be proud of ourselves. And they took some heat after that 6-0 loss on Saturday. Season high 6-game losing streak for the Oilers. Toby Enstrom ahead for Michael Frolik. Frolik will settle it down, cross ice. Enstrom will take it off the sideboards and slap it in. After it, Scheifele for Kane. To the line for Bogosian. He'll unload. That one changed directions. It went off the stick of Michael Frolik. We saw Frolik test his stick to see whether the shaft had been damaged on that deflection.
You can see Bruce Gala flinch too. He didn't know where that one went.
Bogosian lead pass for Kane. He had a step, and now Kane is going to get a penalty. He got caught up there with Andrew Ferentz. Everly to the bench goes for Gala. For Sam Gagner. Into the slot for Everly. He tried to wind into the front of the net. And Devin Setaguchi will touch the puck. And the Edmonton Oilers will get the first power play of the game.
Evander Kane is arguing his case. Unfortunately, Evander does that every time he gets a penalty. I think he's got to stop doing that because referees just don't like that. His argument is that he got slashed at. But the problem is he didn't play the player down, so there's no doubt about it. He's going to end up with 2 minutes. And a big hit along the wall there. That game is hard. He plays the game extremely physical. You don't care who you are. You'll hit anybody, everybody all the time.
Edmonton's power play 0 for 14 over the last 6 games, which can be good and could be bad from a Jet standpoint.
They haven't certainly gotten any momentum from that. A team that's as dynamic with the young talent that they have, they've been shut out 3 of their last 5 games.
The Winnipeg Cavalry counter face on Evander Kane.
Hemsky travels for cross ice. James Wright breaks out. Lifting and get it all the way back down the ice.
Jets penalty. Kane.
Andrew Ferentz over 24 minutes against St. Louis on Saturday. He led the Oilers in ice time. Ryan Smith. He's going to park himself once the Oilers gain control. Smith in the corner on the loose puck. Sends it back to the blue line, and there goes Smith to the front of the net. Gagner cross ice slap shot. That goes wide. Bounces around. Stewart batted it out of midair. And Michael Frolik will send it down the ice.
Edmonton's going to be happy that Jordan Everly got up after that. He got his feet taken out from underneath him right in front of the net and went feet first into the boards.
David Perron for Taylor Hall. Offside as the Oilers move their lines around a little bit, putting Perron on the line with Hall and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins.
Watching the middle of the ice there. We have little Mark Stewart. Yeah, he got a piece of him all right. He came over because he could see that there was an attempted pass. Smith wanted to hit Everly. So he came over, their feet knocked the feet out from underneath Everly. And he went hard into the board and got right back up. But again, Hall on that last rush, he was offside, Dennis. But Hall started skating with too much speed. The Jets got to get closer to him.
Everly has not scored in 6 games. Long floater in on Andre Pavlik, and with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins on his doorstep, Pavlik is going to hang on.
Yeah, they're trying to rearrange the lines for the Oilers. They've got to get something going. They've been shut out for 3 of the last get Sam Gagne going too. Gagne hasn't been able to put up many points. Gagne playing in this game tonight for the first time without that face mask from the broken jaw that he had at the beginning of the year. So that should help him.
Face off to their right on Andre Pavlik. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins back to the line for Justin Schultz for Taylor Hall. Plays it down low. Truba got tied up, puck at the side of the net. Without a stick is Toby Enstrom. Taylor Hall being watched on the loose puck. And a great play there by Brian Little to whip this down the ice. And that's going to allow Enstrom to get to the bench. And the Jets will make a change. 30 seconds left in the Edmonton power play. Vander Kane in the penalty box for tripping after it. Michael Foley dodged a check. Puck up the board. Stewart goes after it. Off his shin pads, but kept in at the line. Circling and looking for some room is Potter. Potter takes the return pass down for Perron. Nugent-Hopkins. Watched by James Wright. To the line for Schultz and now for David Perron. For St. Louis Blue. Back for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins for Taylor Hall. Watched by Buffalo. To the front. Puck plays over. Front to center. Here comes Kane. One shot to go on the power play. And Edmonton's got it. Makes the save off the Vander Kane. Another chance by Kane that went wide. Kept in at the line by Zach Bogosian. Down for Oliokin and takes a look to see where Kane is going. Kane will come to the near corner after a loose puck. Frolik there as well. Now for Jokin, and he got bumped to the line. It doesn't get to Bogosian before it's intercepted, and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins looking for a change. Will send it ahead to Ryan Smith. Smith has it knocked off his stick, and there's another penalty coming up on the play. As Ryan Smith retrieves his glove, and it's going to be Toby Enstrom that will go to the box. Evander Kane with the best chance of the game for the Jets.
Job on the PK, and they went back on the PK because of that. Toby Enstrom reaches in. He even took the glove right off of Smith's hand. That's pretty good. Look at this penalty kill. Watch Mark Stewart, number 5 on the left. Nugent-Hopkins with the puck is the dangerous guy. He's the one you got to shade towards. Now watch Buckland in front and Stewart. How they play Nugent-Hopkins. Buckland comes across. Stewart folds in behind him. Really well done. And then Frolik right in behind everybody else. He pitches it up the ice as Kane's coming out of the box. And Kane with that dynamic speed. That was almost a 2-goal swing. The Jets could have been scored against except for Phil Leaf doing so well with front of the net. And then this close to that guy scoring the first goal of the game for the Jets. But no doubt now they're back on the PK.
Well, Noel felt last night in Vancouver that they gave the Canucks momentum with the power plays in the opening period. The Canucks scored on the second one, and now for the second time in this period, the Jets have thrown themselves down a man.
Time 7 minutes 24 seconds.
Ferentz
The Jets penalty
back for the Oilers as they regroup.
at 7:24.
Lead pass for Sam Gagne. He'll chip this in deep after it's William Everly. To the blue line for Ferentz, and he'll go rink wide. Hemsky back for Ferentz. Back for Alex Hemsky. Slap shot rebound. And Pavlik has it in the pads with Ryan Smith. They're banging around.
They're working the half wall this time with Hemsky. We saw it with Nugent-Hopkins in the highlight we just showed a moment ago. The guy in the half wall is the dangerous one. Less so in this case because it's a right-handed Hemsky. His stick is not in the middle of the ice. But you can't allow that guy to come off the half wall into the middle of the ice. You have to keep his stick to the outside and allow Pavlik to handle it like that.
Smith banging at what he thought was a loose puck. It really wasn't. Andrew Ferentz, watched by James Wright. Alex Hemsky for Ryan Smith. Away from him. Smith jumps on the loose puck. And back for Hemsky. Back for Ryan Smith. Back for Hemsky. For Andrew Ferentz. Hemsky tees it up. Blocked by Mark Stewart. Ferentz to the goal line. And then Ferentz gets it back. He'll let it go. That's Lester's line. Everly trying to track it down. He can't. On the loose puck, Sam Gagne back for Ferentz and now for Hemsky. Hemsky back to the side. Snaps it 6 meters. second. That's what they take.
That's Yogi.
Shots are 8-2 in favor of the Edmonton Oilers. At center ice, Taylor Hall with some jump to his stride tonight. Nugent Hopkins save made Andre Pavlik. Then again, Andre Pavlik has been forced to make 3 or 4 outstanding saves in this opening period. Andrew Ladd tried to chip this back for Toby Enstrom. It ends up all the way back to the Jets' end of the ice. Enstrom gets run into the backboards by David Perron. Out at center for Brian Little. Too far for him. And Ryan Nugent Hopkins will just play it back into his own zone.
Right now, the Jets just have to stop the bleeding a little bit. All the momentum and the confidence level of the guy in the blue jersey.
Doing the flyby was Boyd Gordon leading it, but then it gets turned over inside the line. Malashevsky back for Ferentz. He'll turn it over to Party. Party down for Kane. That shot didn't get to the net. Kane is on the loose puck. Ferentz is trying to tie him up. Boyd Gordon trying to snap it around the boards. Hemsky is after it, and it's up the center ice for Ryan Smith. Ryan Smith pulls up against the checking of Bufflin. Adam Party is on it for Evander Kane. Kane to Ryan Smith, and he shot it over top the goal. Tape to tape, but it was to the wrong tape. Taken by Scheifele. Scheifele a little bit of room. Scheifele in on Belloff. Around Belloff and trying to snap it, and Belloff got a stick back. Now turned over by Yakupov, but unable to control it was Devin Setoguchi. Nail Yakupov sends it in. After it goes Trouba. After him is Yakupov. Around the boards. Setoguchi leaves for Scheifele to the line, but not out. And then Lander couldn't do anything with it. And it's cleared back out to center ice. Yakupov overskated it. Thorburn ahead for Ole Jokinen. Jokinen the slap shot. Rizgalov to save. Thorburn on the loose puck. To Stewart the shot. And that changed directions and went wide. Setoguchi on the far side. Luke Jacek is there for the Oilers. It ends up in behind the Oiler net. And it'll be cleared by Corey Potter for Yakupov. His cross-ice pass too far for Gadzik. Here comes Jokinen. Jokinen drops it back. Grisham! Stewart! Gets this one through Rizgalov. And the Jets have tied it.
Ron Stewart's the best player on the Jets right now. He's made several terrific plays in this game, standing up at the blue line and on the penalty kill. And he started this play by standing up in the neutral zone. He is not backing off. Look at Stewart making a play, standing up, not backing off, follows the play up, gets the drop pass from Ole Jokinen, and then the water's just parted. That's a bad goal for Rizgalov as he looks down between his pads and wonders how that hole developed, because you could see that Stewart was outside the face-off dot. There's no way that one should have gone in, but pure hard work sometimes deserves a goal.
Goal scored by number 5, Mark Stewart.
Second of the year for Mark Stewart. With the assist, I think they will give one to Devin Setoguchi after it gets reviewed, because Setoguchi was the one that chipped it up the boards. Enstrom clears this out the center, back forward to San Gagne. Missed the first 13 games of the season because of injury. Schultz. Nick Schultz for Jesse Owusu, and that got deflected away by Wheeler. At the line for Petrie, and that hit a leg in front, went off Enstrom and wide. Andrew Ladd. Jesse Owusu comes over and gives Ladd a bump. 1-1 tie here in the opening period. Dennis Sayak, Brian Engblom, our TSN Jets crew wishing you the best of the season. Taylor Hall trying to get into the foul. It ricochets off the leg and poked just wide. Another turnover in the Jets zone. Kane around Andrew Ferentz. Kane sharp angle. On the loose puck is Crowley to the line for Bufflin. Bufflin slap shot wide. Rebound. That side was wide open, and Scheifele couldn't pick up that pass or the bounce off the backboards cleanly. Taylor Hall back for the Oilers. Bounces it to the front of the net. Bufflin is there off the boards for Kane. Bounced away from him. Scheifele is on it. And now grabbed off by Taylor Hall. Taylor Hall in on Bufflin. Shot by Hall. knocks it loose for Thorburn. Thorburn got bumped. Going down in the play was Belloff, who was in the defensive position. Ole Jokinen in the corner with Everly. They both go down. Puck for Devin Setaguchi, ahead for Jokinen. And Jokinen's going to slide this down the boards into the Edmonton zone. Anton Belloff, the 27-year-old rookie, after the loose puck and came out front. Devin Setaguchi couldn't get a stick on it. Back through center. And Mark Stewart comes across and steps into Gagne. Back for Hemsky. Hemsky for Ryan Smith. Left pad save. Andre Pavlik on a 3-on-2. Right back for Michael Frolik. Frolik around Belloff. Frolik gets tied up. Centers it. The pass just a little too far for Evander Kane. Hemsky back in against Zach Bogosian. Gives him a little how-he-do. Bogosian recovered enough to put Hemsky to the outside. And Andre Pavlik makes the save.
Andre Pavlik has made 4 or 5 absolutely terrific saves in this first period. Otherwise, Edmonton would be way up on the rush again. Great penetration. Smith going for that low shot off the far side. And then watch Hemsky, who is slick. Now, Bogosian is beaten on the original play. But look at Bogosian. It's pretty smart. There's an experienced young man. Grabs the arm just enough not to take a penalty, but doesn't allow Hemsky to get the inside track on him.
Edstrom up the boards. They have added an assist to Devin Setaguchi on the Jets goal. Coach Clodewell said this morning he did not want a horse race. And this one may be a little bit of a horse race so far.
Yeah, I don't think he's happy. This is what he was warning the team about, really.
Brizgalov leaves it for Andrew Ference. Stanley Cup with the Boston Bruins for Andrew Ference. In across for Taylor Hall. Taylor Hall puts on the brakes. Turns it over, but it's off the stick of Evander Kane. David Perron leaves for Taylor Hall. To the blue line. Slap shot. That whistle wide by Nick Schultz. Kane now sends this out to center ice. Frolik is after it. Chip back up the boards, and here comes Kane with a little bit of room. For Scheifele. Back for Kane. He tried to go high, short side. And Ilya Brizgalov got that right shoulder up high enough. So it stays 1-1. The second chance of the period for Evander Kane.
Evander Kane strong on his stick along the wall. Knocks the puck out of the zone, and Justin Schultz's stick out of his hand. Schultz goes to the bench. Kane follows up the play. The reason he's able to get the puck back is because Schultz doesn't have a stick and isn't there. That leads to the whole setup on the chance here. Kane didn't have much room to work with. Probably if he had to do it over again, he probably would have gone right to the front of the net and tried the jam on the backhand. But it was just him being strong on the stick inside his own zone and getting the better of Justin Schultz that made the difference in that play.
The Oilers' goal came on a power play. The Jets' goal came 5-on-5. Goals for and against 5-on-5. The Winnipeg Jets are a -4. The Edmonton Oilers are a -33. There's a lead pass. 2-on-1 Edmonton. Hemsky to the front. And Petrie with a defenseman up on the play. Shot wide. Another great scoring chance for the Edmonton Oilers. Petrie around the boards. Ladd takes that away. Ladd. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins trying to get back to cover up in behind his own end after he turned that one over. And Ryan Smith in his 19th NHL season will send it in and head to the bench on the change. Buffalo for Adam Pardy. Pardy gets pressured there by Sam Gagne. Gagne and Pardy in a battle behind the net. Jesse Ulensu is on the loose puck. Now for Everly. Everly tight turns. The former Regina Pap. Everly to the blue line for Justin Schultz. Down for Jesse Ulensu. Ulensu, the former Islander, watched by Bufflin. Justin Schultz is in from the line. For Everly.
Bufflin to Party that set this whole thing So they'll be happy with themselves here that they're accomplishing both. Look at Bufflin. Bufflin just trailing. He looks tired on this shift. Watch him come back from the corner to the front of the net. Doesn't get there more quickly enough. Yes, he doesn't get support from Peluso, who comes down late as well, too. But Buff just never really caught up to the play there.
Olyokinen out for the face-off against Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Jacob Trouba on the puck. That pass blocked. To the line it comes for Anton Belloff. Belloff will go cross ice. Corey Potter's shot. That went wide. Back around the board. Stewart takes a look. Thorburn is off after it. The far side. Corey Potter there first. Now it's up for Thorburn. Thorburn on the backhand. Tried to jam it up the wall. Could not. Perron back to the line to Belloff. That slap shot went wide. On it is Taylor Hall. Back to the line for Belloff. Jacob Trouba ties his man up. Oilers stay on it. Now Devin Setaguchi's on the loose puck. Ahead for Thorburn with Jokinen. Thorburn trying to cut in and getting back is Corey Potter to knock it away from Chris Thorburn.
You can see how confident Edmonton is now. Potter came way across from the far side to pinch up at Winnipeg's blue line. Everything that Claude Noel was worried about in this game, Dennis, just as you said a moment ago, has really come to pass. He's not seeing the things that he wants. The Jets are allowing too much speed on the rush. Ryan Smith's had the puck a lot. Hall's had the puck. Everly's had the puck. You don't want that. And now they've got their cycle going as well, too, on that last goal.
He said this morning we need to be harder on pucks and compete more than the Oilers. And so far that has not been the case. And as the Oilers coming off that loss on Saturday, some anger in their game. Wheeler in on the forward check. Wheeler to the back boards with Nick Schultz. Brian Little trying to come up with a loose puck. Little has gone 3 games without a point. That's the first time that has happened to Brian Little this season. Icing called against Edmonton.
Andrew Ladd coming back with a little bit of fire after the Jets give up that second goal in the neutral zone. Big hit right along the wall. Ladd plays a physical game, and when he gets a chance, he certainly finishes his chest. Ladd and Little, I thought, looked tired in the game last night. They don't have much gas. It seems like they want to get something going. Obviously, in this game, Wheeler had more jump, I think, than those two guys did. Edmonton has called the timeout here.
They got caught with that line on the ice after the icing call. They needed a line change, can't get it. So Dallas Eakins is going to use the 30-second timeout here with 2:12 to go in the opening period.
And that's smart because it's the little things that have killed this team for sure. He doesn't want to give up the lead at a very good start on the period for his team. But getting tired guys out there in the back face-off is the Jets might take advantage of.
Dallas Eakins said this morning, we have to have a response today after the game on Saturday.
Yeah, he was pretty angry too. They had a fan throw a jersey on the ice in the last game. Near the end of the game when they were losing 6-0. He was not happy about that. He said he wanted a response about that all the way around, and he certainly has got it so far.
He said the fan that threw the jersey was a quitter. And that's caused a rather quiet day to be a busy afternoon in Edmonton. We'll have more on that between periods 2 and 3. Ed Tate is going to discuss the events of earlier today here in Edmonton. Dustin Bufflin back in his own zone. Bufflin off the leg. Jesse Johansson gives way to Vander Kane. Kane for Scheifele, away from him. After it goes Michael Frolik. Frolik trying to pull away from Jesse Johansson. Frolik got bumped, gets the puck to Kane. Back to Trouba. The hard pass came off the boards. Kane trying to get it to Trouba. Trouba couldn't handle it. Well, player changes for the Jets as the Oilers control. Justin Schultz, the long cross-ice dumping, looking for the carry off the corner boards. To Toby Enstrom, first one there. For Thorburn and on for Setaguchi. He'll stuff it through for Olyokinen. Jokinen and Jeff Petrie to the corner boards they go. Centered for Enstrom. Numbers gone. Comes out and makes the save on a slap shot from Toby Enstrom.
Toby Enstrom was smart. Nobody was paying any attention to him. Setaguchi gets in the flash. The Oilers are in a line change, so they're a little preoccupied with getting themselves back into position. Overloaded on one side. see Edstrom gets terrific penetration as Setaguchi steps up from behind the net instead of.
Ryan, you talked about Jordan Eberle off the top. This is his 11th multi-point game this season.
Smart guy. I mean, he knows where to go. He's got great hockey sense. He's dependable at both ends of the ice, too.
CHL Player of the Year in 2010 when he was with the Regina Pats. Edstrom tried to get that to the front of the net. It got blocked. We're in the final minute. Taylor Hall, watched by Zach Bogosian. Hall looking for a little bit of room. Hall dangles through the neutral zone. Keeps on going, and then finally diving back to knock it away was Edstrom, and then it's brought back in by Nick Schultz offside.
This young man's really full of himself tonight. He has had the puck more than anybody else on the ice, bar none. Every shift he's been out there, they feed him because of his talent and because of his speed. And just now, single-handedly, going through the neutral zone, his teammates want to take a look. He got a bit of a good bounce there, but he stays with it and very nearly turns something into nothing.
Well, the crowd was disappointed with the result and the effort on Saturday. They loved the effort there from Taylor Hall. Jacob Trouba picks that off at center. Trouba cutting in the wrist shot. That's off a stick and wide. After it goes, Blake Wheeler to the line for Andrew Ladd. Looked one way, sends it the opposite way, and able to hold it in was Blake Wheeler. Mark Stewart, the Jets goal-getter in this game. Ahead for Brian Little, and in it goes. Schultz got bumped in behind the net. Sends it up the boards, and the Oilers in the dying seconds here just content to get rid of it out to center ice. And the first period is going to come to an end. The Edmonton Oilers outshot the Winnipeg Jets 14-7. Ryan outscored them 2-1.
Yeah, that was an Edmonton Oilers period, no doubt. The Jets, I think, are fortunate to get the one goal. It wasn't a great goal given up by Bryzdalov, although it was a terrific effort by Stewart. The couple of penalties they took earlier gave the Edmonton Oilers life and puck possession. Then their confidence level took over. Ryan Smith had the puck a lot, and as I said a moment ago, Taylor Hall, a dynamic first period. The Jets have to do something about it.
So the Jets make their way off the ice here at Rexall Place in Edmonton. And the Oilers with the 2-1 lead. For the Edmonton Oilers, here's Mark Stewart's goal to tie it up. And the Oilers coming back to take the 2-1 lead. It's done here in Edmonton. The cold snap has left. Hopefully the warm spell is making its way towards Manitoba. There's a scoring summary in that first period. Jordan Eberle on the second power play of the period for the Oilers. His third power play goal of the year. 2 minutes and 40 seconds later, Mark Stewart with his second. And then Sam Gagner regains the lead for the Oilers, and the Oilers out shooting the Jets 14-7.
Jacob Trouba and Mark Stewart are forming a real nice pairing. I talked to Trouba this morning. He says, oh yeah, Stewie gets me ready to play. And he said it with a smile and a sort of a wink because Stewart is so intense. You go back to the game last night against Vancouver. This was the end of the second period. See how Trouba came across? That was a big block there. Stewart was ready. Stewart, number 5, had gone down and turned around. And he says to Trouba after the play, he stole my block. You know that Stewart is very proud of the shot blocking. It's one of the things that he sacrifices himself every game, night in, night out, not just on the penalty killing situation. And he did it again here in this game today. So it was kind of funny going back and forth. Trouba hurt himself a little bit, but he was able to shake it off. Mark Stewart with a tremendous first period. Over 7 minutes in that first period for Stewart. 2.5 minutes on the penalty kill. Trouba just under 6 minutes. And the Jets need more efforts like Stewart in the second period.
Stewart was 60 block shots in the year. He got shot differential in the first period. The outshot the Jets here, 14-7. The outshot St. Louis on Saturday, 14-5. It was after that that Edmonton ran themselves into trouble as St. Louis outshot them 28-9 in the final 2 periods. They've been outshot in their last 5 games, Edmonton has. On the other side of it, the Jets have outshot the opposition in 7 of their last 8 games.
It's been a difficult stretch. It's been a difficult season for Dallas Eakins for sure. I mean, this team has a lot of young talent. Some of it probably is being forced into the league maybe a little more quickly than they need to, but those are the circumstances that you deal with, and they've really struggled defensively, and they have to try and keep it together here after losing it in the second and third period to St. Louis.
Go back to the start of the year, though. Dallas Eakins was the one that told us at the rookie camp in Penticton, we are no longer the young Oilers. We are the Edmonton Oilers. Young is out of the equation.
They're still playing young.
Boyd Gordon off the boards to center. Ales Hemsky goes after it. Forced wide and has the puck taken away by Zach Bogosian. For Toby Enstrom. Ahead for Brian Little. Little with Ladd and Wheeler. Little looking for someone to pass it to. Gets it back to Mark Stewart. Now to Wheeler and down to Little. Little has this get away from him. Jets trying to get a change in. And Evander Kane trying to barge his way to the net. Kane looks over at the official. This Christmas Eve, the holiday tradition continues with SportsCenter Year in Review, presented by PokerStars.net. Jen and Dutch count down the top 10 highlights, lowlights, sound bites, and sports stories from 2013. Tune in this Christmas Eve at 7 Central on TSN. At the line, Trouba the shot. That got deflected away. After it, Evander Kane. Kane sends it around the boards. Trouba in from the line. Frolik is on it. Frolik plays this down for Evander Kane. Kane in behind the net, trying to work his way away from Andrew Ference. Frolik is there as well. Kane is on the loose puck. Back for Trouba the shot. That one off Mark Scheifele to the corner. Ference pitches it around the boards for Justin Schultz. Justin Schultz through the middle for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. He turns it over. Mark Stewart sends it back in. Scheifele fires. Brizgalov takes it off the left shoulder, and he hangs on.
This is Mark Stewart again. Mark Stewart faked like he was going to back up, and then he stopped about 8 feet inside the center red line and turned the puck over. Started to go back. Here it is. Nice little control play. Control the puck. Getting up and into the zone. Scheifele ends up with a nice move and throws it on net.
Jokinen out with Sadaguchi and Thorburn. This is Chris Thorburns' 497th NHL game. For Andrew Ference, by the way, this is 799 NHL games for him. Anton Belloc through the middle, intercepted by Thorburn. Plays it back down low. Corey Potter throws after it. Potter gets drilled in the corner on a good hit by Sadaguchi. Adam Hardy jumps in from the line. Stolen now by Jokinen. Jokinen looking for a little bit of room. Leaves for Bufflin. And the slot shot just wide. Sadaguchi may have got a piece of it. Sadaguchi on the loose puck. Fires, and he missed the net as he went glove side on Brizgalov. Through the middle. Intercepted there by Adam Hardy. Hardy had trouble with the rolling puck and manages to get it back to the Edmonton line. Belloc snaps this ahead, picked off at center ice by Blake Wheeler. Wheeler carries back in. Wheeler forced wide by Anton Belloc. Plays it for Andrew Ladd. Ladd to the line for Toby Enstrom. Enstrom has a bit of a lane to the net. He gets hooked on the play by Ales Hemsky. Play goes on. Brian Little is after it. Back for Enstrom. For Wheeler. Trying to get away from Belloc. Belloc has been trying to get to the bench. On the line change. He's been out for some time now. Wheeler around Belloc. For Brian Little. Belloc now pins Little to the backboards. Puck came to the front of the net. And Gagne just flips this into the Jet zone. And that's going to allow the Edmonton Oilers to get a line change. Around the boards, but Ryan Smith read that play. Finally taken by Enstrom. Ahead to Wheeler and on for Scheifele. Scheifele in on Nick Schultz. Plays it around for Evander Kane. Kane to the front of the net. Kicked away by Brizgalov and up and out of play.
Well, the Jets have a different demeanor about them in this second period. Watch the job they do on the cycle and on the forecheck. That was Sadaguchi, number 40, getting in, using the body. Jets keep it in. Jokinen keeps it in at the point. Nice control. Bufflin coming late. Steams into one that just barely misses. And then again, right back on the puck. Sadaguchi right out in the middle. That one's going to hit the net. If either one of those hits the net, they have a great chance of at least a rebound. They're really good two shifts there. The one before that was good as well.
That last shift by Anton Belov was 2 minutes and 40 seconds.
Well, when you get cycled like that consecutively in your second period, your defenseman a long way from your bench, it's hard to get that.
He might be our ice time leader at the end of the second period on that shift alone.
Yeah.
Loaded out through center, and Nick Schultz will send it in. After it, Jacob Trouba, his first NHL goal came in this building. Pile up in behind the Edmonton net. Scheifele's on the puck for Evander Kane. Kane goes wide. Kane trying to cut around Andrew Ference. Ference stays with him. This is home for Andrew Ference, as he signed as an unrestricted free agent this past offseason. Mark Stewart's going to hold this in, trying to get it to Frolik. It's got away from Frolik, and that allows the Oilers to carry in. Chance on that left side, and the puck bounced away from Taylor Hall. Evander Kane for Michael Frolik. Frolik is a jet started change. Frolik takes it deep, controls, sends it behind the net for Olli Jokinen. Jokinen back for Thorburn. Thorburn in on Justin Schultz, spills him. And the puck taken on that far side. Big hit at the line is trying to bust his way through for the Edmonton Oilers on that far side. And a big hit along the far side boards. Through the middle of the ice. To center no further. Back come the Oilers. Lead pass for Yakupov. Didn't seem any worse for wear after that hit. Tried to duck it. And on the loose puck is Dustin Byfuglien, and play whistled down.
I'm not sure what that's all about. I thought it was going to be too many men on the ice for a moment.
And it may have the penalty box door open.
Pavlik makes the save there on that last rush, and he gets a pretty good whack up the side of the head, too, from Nail Yakupov. It was a good recovery there by Thorburn, who got his stick in on Yakupov just in enough time to knock him onto a bad angle.
It is just too many men on the ice.
It had to have been. I saw the reaction of some of the linesmen after he picked it up and see that there were too many people on the ice. So you can tell by the linesman's reaction that they weren't blowing the whistle for no reason. So the Jets put themselves in trouble again here for penalty kill.
Third power play of the game for the Edmonton Oilers, and
Winnipeg
the Jason this second period, and now the Oilers chance to build some momentum with the middle advantage. Keep in mind, the Oilers have given up 8 short-handed goals against. That is the most in the National Hockey League.
Jacob Trouba's limping after blocking that shot by Nugent Hopkins.
Hopkins has it again, sends it down for Taylor Hall. Hall trying to slip that back to Ryan Nugent Hopkins, and it ricochets out to center ice. Corey Potter in for Taylor Hall. Taylor Hall around Trouba. Brian Little got back to break it up. And this gets off the stick of Justin Schultz.
Trouba's trying to get off. He is going to get off now. That's why he couldn't turn in that last play.
Alashevsky blocked by James Wright. Wright took it away, and then Hemsky got it back to the blue line for Justin Schultz. He can fire it. And now play whistle down. And is it too many men on the ice for Edmonton?
Yes, I think it's their turn this time. Bad line change.
Yep, Edmonton bench minor. Too many men on the ice.
Kyle Raven, the referee making the call, went right over the Edmonton bench, and they take away some of their own thunder. They have puck possession inside the zone. Let's watch Jacob Trouba block this shot from Ryan Nugent Hopkins. And he'll be limping on the play. Watch number 8 come out. Nice positioning here. And it hits him top of the foot, it looks like. You can see how much difficulty he's in. He can barely put any weight on it. He's probably starting to get a little feel. And then he tried to get off, but realized on the quick turnaround that he couldn't. Because he doesn't have the ability to turn very quick, you see how he's almost limping on the turn. Does a good job to at least force the play to the outside. And there's Alex.
The Oilers penalty, a bench minor. 2 minutes for having too many men there.
4 on 4 for 55 seconds. And then barring any more penalties, the Jets will get their first power play of the game. Oilers here in the second. Brian Guamar, TSN Jets crew in Edmonton. Up the boards for Blake Wheeler. Wheeler with Evander Kane, 2-on-2. Kane takes the drop pass on a rolling puck. Was still rolling. Kane trying to settle it down, could not. And Taylor Hall will chop it back to center ice. Quickly, Kane sends Wheeler in. Wheeler got Sterling alive by Andrew Ferris. Some reaction from the Jets bench on that. Everly back in with Dustin Byfuglien. Byfuglien up with the puck. Byfuglien tried to come back against the traffic. Now does get it to Zach Bogosian. And Bogosian's going to skate it out. Ahead for Evander Kane and rink wide for Wheeler. Bogosian heads to the front of the net. Takes the pass in the corner. Tried to chip it around for Kane. Got knocked out of midair by Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Around for Jordan Everly. Out through center ice. And cleared in, and now the Jets on the power play. Bogosian with Ryan Smith after him. Jets power play has been good. 8 power play goals in the last 7 games. Here comes Jokinen. Jokinen trying to split the defense. Vlad leads it for Byfuglien. Save made. Brizgalov rebound. And onto the stick of Ryan Smith. And he clears this over the glass. And Ryan Smith is going to go to the penalty box.
I think this puck was rolling a little bit.
The same rolling puck that was giving both teams trouble.
I'm glad they're going to have to replace it. I'm glad it went to bed. Something wrong with that puck. It wouldn't lay flat for anything. It must have been round on one side. Watch it bounce here. Smith wants to clear the puck out of the zone. That's like a golf shot in a moving target. And it's clearly over the glass. Now, 5-on-3 for the Jets.
Winnipeg Jets. 2 minutes 45-on-3. They are 4 for 6. There's not a lot of time left in that first penalty. Mark Scheifele lays it around the boards. Back for Evander Kane. Now for Byfuglien. Byfuglien for Enstrom. In front of the net for Kane. Jokinen trying to get it to him. Out of the penalty box now. After a certain penalty was Hemsky. Hemsky winding his way into the Jet zone. Lays it all the way back. There's a goal. And now it's hammered down the ice. Enstrom puts on the brakes against the checking of David Perron. Wheeler ahead for Brian Little, and Little will attack the Edmonton zone around Ferris. Edmonton to Byfuglien score! And a misfire by Dustin Byfuglien. And Loud stops an 8-game goal drought. And the Jets score on the power play to tie the game 2-2.
Brian Little really makes the play here. His change of speed on the attack was absolutely brilliant to give himself penetration. Watch him pick up speed here and just drive wide. Great stuff. And then he gets the puck right up the middle to Dustin Byfuglien, who inadvertently gives a great pass to Andrew Ladd. Look at Little. Creates all that time in a row. Byfuglien cleanly snapped his stick right in two. He wanted to hammer that one about 120 miles an hour at Brizgalov. And Andrew Ladd with terrific concentration. A lot of times when you get a broken stick and it's a change of pace kind of shot, it kind of takes your attention away. Well, Ladd stayed right with it and deflected it in and up over the bar.
Things like that. That's why Dustin Byfuglien leads the Jets in assists. Just like he drew it up. Yep. So Andrew Ladd gets his 9th of the year. And Brian Little, who had gone 3 games without a point, took care of that. Devin Setaguchi rifles it from the right side. And Brizgalov was going to hang on to it. So a power play goal for the Winnipeg Jets ties this game up in 2.
Trouble getting scoring chances this last handful of games. He was in the right place here, and I really admire the fact the way he stuck with it. Let's go back to Little again on the rush. There's the change of speed that I was talking about in the puck possession. Terrence didn't have much backward speed, and when an experienced guy like Brian Little sees that, that's when he turned the Jets on. Terrence was at his mercy, though. Little didn't have to put a move on it, just protect the puck, drive wide, and then watch them scramble to get back to the position. They didn't. He was able to use that opportunity right up the net to get it to Dustin
couple of times during this game, during breaks, is stretching that lower part of his body.
It's amazing sometimes when a guy is playing with an injury, playing hurt, Dennis, how well they play. Their focus is so good, and that's Stewart tonight.
Joensuu shot from the left side, save made by Ondrej Pavelec. It's been a quiet period for Ondrej Pavelec. That is the first shot on goal this period by the Edmonton Oilers. Shot from the line. There's the second one off the stick of Corey Potter, and a good save by Pavelec on that one.
It was. Jesse Joensuu on the drive on the initial rush had a lot of speed. He gets the puck just outside the blue line. Different speeds and different depths are the hardest part of playing defense in the National Hockey League. Trouba and Stewart had to come together to handle Joensuu. I don't think they saw him early enough, and then by the time they converged on him, they just had to force him to the outside. The ensuing play afterwards forced the Jets really to scramble, and the goaltender Pavelec makes the save and snuffs out the play.
Stewart a goal, Bufflin an assist, so 2 points from the back end for the Winnipeg Jets in this game. In the season opener, they had 8 points from defensemen in that 5-4 win. Boy, there's one that Ondrej Pavelec had to react to quickly.
Off the face-off, controlling face-off, that's always an important factor, and Edmonton is able to do that. They get it back to the point. Pavelec tracking the puck, and that redirection, that was nasty. I think that was off the Bogosian.
So the 3 penalties in this period, 2 were bench penalties for too many men on the ice, 1 team each. And then the penalty for delay of game to Ryan Smith as he put a rolling puck out of the playing surface. Edmonton on the season, 7 bench minors. That is most in the NHL. And the Jets tied for 4th with 5.
If you look at power plays around the league and what a difference. I mean, the Jets came into this game, Dennis, with 19 power play goals. You look at Washington, 35 power play goals. Pittsburgh, 33. Chicago, 31. Big gap there between 19 goals for the Jets and in the 30s for those top teams. That's a lot of victories.
Ferentz back in behind his own net. As the Oilers, Justin Schultz snaps this off the far side boards, but Mark Scheifele is there. Ahead for Evander Kane, and Kane with a good move finds a little bit of room. Kane going wide to the front, sneaked, and a big save by Eddie Brzgala. Great reaction with that right pad. Taylor Hall back for the Oilers for Justin Schultz, the defenseman is in front. Big save by Pavelec as he runs David Perron.
Incredible save. Great saves at both ends of the ice, but Ondrej Pavelec wins it on that one off of David Perron. Perron coming in late. Scheifele's looking at the puck. Doesn't know Perron behind. Goaltenders both a big factor on the last shift. Watch Evander Kane drive line and throw it to the front of the net and go for Ferentz's foot. Nice save. Reaction save. Brzgala now gets down to front. Other end of the ice. The Jets get focused on the puck carrier. Scheifele is in front of the net. When you have 2 guys already on the puck carrier, you have to turn around and look away from the puck. See who's open. Perron got blocked.
Jets with 20 power play goals on the season now with that one here earlier this period. Dustin Bufflin has been in on 14 of the 20. In behind the Jets net, Adam Hardy ties up Alex Hemsky, and charging in was Boyd Gordon, and that forces Ondrej Pavelec to make yet another save.
That's another big one, too. You said early on, Pavelec wasn't tested at all. The Jets have done a real good job of keeping the puck in Edmonton's zone. But look at Pavelec. He's straddling both posts, and then he comes up. That's the key. You have to come up and get close to those pucks that are sort of chopped at you on those quick plays from behind the net.
Face off to the left of Pavelec. Ondrej Pavelec is very composed and doesn't get too emotional, but you wonder sometimes if he doesn't feel like going into that dressing room at the end of a period and start breaking some goal sticks. In for Brian Little. Little puts on the brakes, sends it cross ice. Adam Hardy takes a look, was going to send it back to Wheeler, elects to send it down low. Little. Wheeler now makes his way into the slot. Little trying to get it to him. Ladd. the corner boards. This is going to be kept in at the line by Adam Party. Down for Blake Wheeler. Ladd fights his way to the front of the net. But the pass for Buffalo was behind him. And Adam Party in a foot race with Ryan Smith. Smith goes cross ice and Buffalo comes sliding across the break it up. The pass to Buffalo was just in behind him, where he was walking in on Ilya Bryzgalov. And it turned into a scoring chance for the Oilers. Luke Gadzik sends it low, goes in after Bufflin. Bufflin for Wheeler. Wheeler slides this down into the Edmonton zone, and Andrew Ference had this skip away from him. Big hit in the corner now by James Wright. Spinning off it, though, was Justin Schultz, and then he gives way to Anthony Caluso. Eric O'Dell is after it, and Eric O'Dell is going to get a penalty. Out at center ice, cleared by Trouba back into his own end, but play goes on. Trouba looked back at the referee, and now Eric O'Dell does touch it. It's going to be a high sticking penalty to O'Dell. Is it going to be 2, or is it going to be more?
Yeah, Ference was talking to the referee. Can't tell from here if he's bleeding or not. Odell's stick came up inadvertently. He was trying to lift Ference's stick, and we see that happen a lot. He inadvertently got it right up under the chin.
Second period. Busy night around the NHL. Vancouver, Montreal, the only teams not playing. Gagne wins the face-off, but it came outside the line. Ference puts it back in, and Stewart will send it back into the Edmonton zone. Alex Hemsky ahead for Sam Gagne. Gagne back for Hemsky, and now back for Gagne. Slaps it around the boards for Jordan Eberle. Ryan Little closes in on Eberle, and a good read by Jacob Trouba, and he'll send it down the ice. Ference scores back. At center ice. Alex Hemsky takes the pass from Eberle. Tried to get it back to him, and that got intercepted, and Toby Enstrom will play it all the way back down the ice.
Jets penalty killing has been really good in this game, actually. They did give up that goal to Eberle, and it was a mistake for sure. So they've done a really good job of interchanging and staying on top of Edmonton for the most part, not giving them a lot of good looks.
Bogosian stands up at the line on Taylor Hall. That takes some guts to do that, the way Taylor Hall can fly, but Bogosian won that battle, and it's cleared back into the Edmonton zone. Justin Schultz got squeezed out, has to get the puck deep, and does. After it is Trouba, and Trouba puts it off that far wall and down the ice.
Really nice play by Trouba. He just shrugged off the forecheck there by Perron, bumped him a little bit, stayed under control, kept the puck, and shot it down.
Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, the former Red Deer Rebel, plays it in behind the Jets net. Mark Stewart is after it. Stewart gets tied up by David Perron. Kane is down there, Trouba's down there, comes loose, but taken by Corey Potter. Potter cross ice, a little bit of interference in front of the net, and it's on and off the stick of Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Kept in by Corey Potter to the front of the net, that got deflected away. At the line, Corey Potter trying to hold it in, does. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins went far side, missed the net. No shots on goal on that power play. Eric O'Dell into the Edmonton zone around Corey Potter. O'Dell back to Jokin, and that shot hit Evander Kane in the hand. And Kane takes the glove off and takes a look at the left hand as he makes his way to the bench. Ryan Smith puts this to the front of the net. And Andre Pavlik is going to hang on to this, and we will have a stoppage in play. It's been terrific here in the second. It remains 2-2.
Again by the Jets. Watch Brian Little, number 18, in the middle of the ice. Justin Schultz makes one too many moves, just a little bit of a stick there, and then the partial block by Kane. Prior to that, there was a sequence that you read about. The Jets had the puck all over the place. Dustin Buckland moved in. The pass was behind him. Party comes across, makes a good effort, but then gets beaten on a really good move by Smith and really extra effort by Dustin Buckland, who was just hauling it. So everybody covering up for themselves all the way around the line. Buckland, who did not have a very good first period, has had a much stronger second period. There's Evander Kane. He came off the ice on his last shift, too. It looked like he got a shot off his fingertips or something. His hand was bothering him.
Ole Jokinen shot it, and Evander Kane went to the bench looking for the man who shot my paw. It was his left hand that...
I saw that left hand.
And Kane appears to be okay. Jokinen didn't go over and say whoops.
This episode of The Rifleman brought to you by...
In the corner, Yessi Owatsu, watched by Adam Party, taken by Devin Setaguchi. Setaguchi with an assist in this game. Buckland with an assist in this game. The lead pass for Thorburn, and that's off the stick of Petrie and into the bench.
Let's see if we can pick up exactly what happened to Evander Kane. Kane's down by the net, the bottom of your screen. The puck got deflected, and he just kind of came up on him. You see that left hand go up right away.
Kane up and ready to go, and the Scheifele-Frolik line is up next. Hardy. And trying to get this deep. This deflects and ricochets over that shorter glass on the side here in Edmonton. Nothing out of play.
Well, as wild as the first period was, I'm sure Claude Noel wasn't a big fan of it. His team didn't play very well. This second period has certainly been chalked up a lot of whistle, but it's actually in many ways been in their favor and helped get Edmonton under control.
When you see the way the Oilers can fly up and down the ice, you wonder how they've been shut out 6 times on the year and 4 times in this building. What's interesting about the shutouts at home, they've been shut out 3-0, 4-0, 5-0, and 6-0. Everly. Watched by Dustin Buckland. Buckland rides him out. Ole Jokinen. Ahead for Setaguchi and on for Thorburn and into the Edmonton zone. Jets make a line change, and Justin Schultz is back for it. Kane, Frolik, Scheifele. Scheifele riding the 6-game point streak for the Jets. That is the longest point streak any Jet has had this year. Toby Enstrom starting the year with 2 points in this building in the opener, and then had a 5-game point streak. Michael Frolik on the backhand, sharp angle, and Ilya Brizgalov will make the save and hold it. 2014 IIHF World Junior Championship gets underway Thursday on TSN. The holiday tradition continues as Canada starts the tournament against Germany. Live coverage from Malmo, Sweden. Underway 6 a.m. Central on TSN and TSN Radio. TSN 1290 in Winnipeg. They'll carry a lot of those games from Sweden. What a tournament. Oilers, Taylor Hosser. get this through for Alashimsky, and Andrei Pavlik is going to get the big bid on that, and he will hang on to it.
Let's take a look again and see what happened on this goal. The penetration by Edmonton. The Jets have lots of guys back. Everybody is in on the puck. And see on top of your screen, he just lingers in the corner for a half a beat. So he's behind everyone. And the Jets are so focused on trying to make sure the ball doesn't walk out from behind the net that Perron is able to get a 3-1 in front. He's a happy man.
He had gone 5 games without a goal. Setaguchi fires off the leg of Anton Pellat. Jokinen gets taken into the Edmonton net. Net is off the peg. Play allowed to continue, and Brizgalov is going to try and put it back on the peg, and now finally play whistled down.
I think they realized that the peg was sort of bent and he couldn't get it done. He thought maybe he could just slide the net back on, and he couldn't. It was Jokinen, I believe, who had gotten pushed into the net, and that's what had initially knocked it off. They were going to allow the play to go on as long as possible, and they did.
Brizgalov played 4 after he signed, then he got hurt, was out 6. And tonight starts 4 of the last 5 games that he has started.
There's Jokinen getting knocked in. You can see the net's clearly off. Edmonton has the puck, and they're going up the ice. And the Edmonton bench was a little upset about it. Brizgalov's trying to do it, but the harsh peg, which is made of sort of a plastic, which seemed to bent in half, and he couldn't get it back down in the hole it was supposed to be.
Bufflin ahead for Michael Frolik. David Perron trying to hold it and get it back in camp, and here comes Evander Kane. Shifley gets dumped on the far side. Kane a long wrist shot, and that is deflected by the goal stick of Brizgalov into the netting in the Edmonton zone.
Yeah, Perron and Shifley had a pretty good collision there right in front of the penalty box. Shifley seemed to slip it a little bit. Ducked it, I think. So right on the foil, there's Shifley coming up the ice. Oh, Perron actually fell. He got tripped up.
Shifley can take the face off. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins comes up with it, snaps it off with Lass and Adam Party for Dustin Bufflin, and quickly ahead for Evander Kane. Kane at the line, and Shifley and Frolik both went charging in, but the puck hadn't crossed the line yet. Good job defensively there by Taylor Hall to knock that out of midair. The center no further. Bufflin ahead for Michael Frolik. Frolik puts on the brakes, gets it for Shifley. He tried to bust through, that got knocked away. Here comes Taylor Hall with David Perron. Back for Hall, drops it back for Schultz, and a big save by Andrei Pavlik off of Justin Schultz, who is not at all hesitant to join the rush. Enstrom starts back for the Jets, puts on the brakes against the checking of Ryan Smith. NHL game 1227 for Ryan Smith. Turned over at the line. Yastrzemski couldn't do anything with it. Back out to center, and Nick Schultz will send this in. Enstrom deflects it off the boards for Andrew Ladd. Ahead to Blake Wheeler. Wheeler trying to work it around the long reach of Petrie. Wheeler and Petrie go to the backboards. Wheeler stays on the puck, and Petrie comes up with it. Sends it ahead for Ryan Smith. Smith twisting and turning to get away from Brian Little. On the backhand, Boyd Gordon will send it in, and the Oilers will make another line change with under 30 to go here in the second period. Again, off the stick of Ladd, back for Gagne, cross ice. Jesse Owens who blasted it wide. Wheeler to center ice, sends it in, heads to the bench on the change, and Brizgalov will play it into the corner for Andrew Ferentz. Ferentz takes a look up at the clock, gets it for Justin Schultz. Schultz will send it ahead for Jesse Owenssu. On the right side for Eberle, and time is going to run out here in the second period.
Jets with a better second period, for sure. They were involved in the play. They set the tone early on. The first 10 minutes in particular, Edmonton recovered themselves in the second half of that second period. And because of that, with a goal that Perron probably deserved earlier on, 2 chances for Perron. He scored on the second one, and the Jets have to dig themselves out of a 3-2 goal in the third.
10-7 the shots in the second period in favor of Evander Kane and the Winnipeg Jets. Kane took the puck off the hand in that second period. It appears to be okay. Devin Seneguchi with a good hit. So 40 minutes left here at Rexall Place. And the Edmonton Oilers with a 3-2 lead on the Winnipeg Jets. Last time out. Safeway $1 million score and win. Grand prize winner will receive a week of unlimited luxury and dreams resorts courtesy of redtime.ca. Tonight's grand prize winner, Janet Berluski of East St. Paul. Congratulations, Janet. Shop and swipe your club card at Safeway today. You could be our next lucky winner. Edmonton Oilers making their way onto the ice. Here at Rexall Place, they have a one-goal lead on the Winnipeg Jets. Winnipeg Jets have been involved in 22 one-goal games as they make their way onto the ice. Scoring summary from that second period. Andrew Ladd, his ninth out was on a power play. Buffalo and Little, and then David Perron from Hall, and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Shots 10-7 Jets in that second period.
Been an interesting game for Andre Pavlik as well, too. He was under siege and had some incredible chances against him in the first period. Made some brilliant saves. Otherwise, this game could have been virtually out of reach in Edmonton's favor. And then in the second period, to start it, the first 10 minutes, he had virtually nothing. So the Jets had snapped out. They did a better job. They certainly put a lot more time in Edmonton's zone. And Edmonton comes back with some late pressure in that second. And of course, the Perron goal puts Edmonton up by 1 goal in this third period. So the Jets need to get the puck deep again and make Edmonton spend time inside their own zone. That's where they're weak.
Well, felt getting on their D. He agrees with you. That is where you maybe get the Oilers to get themselves in trouble. Little Ladd Wheeler will start up front with Bogosian and Enstrom. Now Leshemsky. As this is cleared back, as Hemsky couldn't stop it, Brian Little goes after it. Little for Wheeler. Back for Little. After it goes Nick Schultz. Wheeler's after him. Little gets this for Andrew Ladd. Ladd spins it back for Brian Little. Back to the line for Enstrom. The slap shot wide. Bogosian goes in. Little goes to Ladd backs Bogosian up. Bogosian down for Little. Wraparound try by Wheeler. He almost had Brzgalov going the other way. Ladd. Back for Brian Little. Little spins it for Blake Wheeler. Off the backboards, watched by Nick Schultz. Now Little for Ladd. Zach Bogosian jumps in. Bogosian tried to get back to the front of the net. That got blocked by Ryan Smith. And finally, the Oilers will get it to center, but no further. Right back in for Devin Seneguchi. Hemsky has lost his stick. Brzgalov to save the rebound. Bogosian trying to get it out front. Jokinen in on the forecheck. May have got away with a bit of a hook. And now a lead pass is too far for Perron. Andre Pavlik plays it away. Taylor Hall trying to get it back to the line. Andrew Ferentz sends it back deep. Oilers have to clear the zone, and they do. Truba. Lead pass too far for Eric Odell. So Eric Odell now on this line with Ole Jokinen and Devin Seneguchi. We saw that a little bit last night in the game in Vancouver when the Jets were down the goal.
The little line really set the tone in this third period, which is what they needed to do. They got the puck deep and they started cycling. Putting the puck in the right place at the right time is very important. And Wheeler cuts back and tries to catch Brzgalov moving off that near side post. Good quick feet and intensity by Blake Wheeler.
Boys, look at ice times after 40 minutes. Nail Yakupov, 3 minutes and 4 seconds of ice time for the Oilers.
And he's a fourth liner.
1 goal in his last 15 games for Yakupov. It's been a tough goal this season. Scheifele, riding that 6-game point streak, has been held off the score sheet so far tonight. Dustin Byfuglien for Adam Hardy. And back for Byfuglien. In on the forecheck is Everly. Kane puts it to the middle of the ice. No one there. And Andrew Ferentz will swing it cross ice. Justin Schultz up on the right side. That gets to the Jets line no further. Hit the linesman. And Bufflin. Now Bufflin tripped on the play, and the Jets are going to get a power play. As Jesse Joensuu will go for tripping Dustin Bufflin, who's getting up somewhat slowly.
Buff is so good in tight quarters. We say that every game. When there's players around him, he never panics. And because of that, he draws, obviously, a lot of attention. And Joensuu reached in there and took the feet out from underneath Dustin Bufflin. Bufflin uses his size to advantage. You can see the blade of the stick slip right underneath the skate blade of Bufflin. There was nowhere to go but down, and that good call by the referee.
Third power play of the game for the Winnipeg Jets. They are 1 for 2. 4 times this season the Jets have had this power play in the game.
2 minutes for tripping.
Little.
The time, 2 minutes
For Toby Enstrom, fires, that got blocked, comes right back to Bufflin, drills it wide, off the boards, and unable to get a stick on it, Vlad or Jokinen. Jokinen controls, back for Toby Enstrom, quickly for Bufflin and quickly for Jokinen, back for Enstrom, Enstrom back to Bufflin, shot wide, Jokinen, and that got blocked by Nick Schultz. Little for Jokinen. Back for Ladd into Bufflin, and Bufflin misfired on the shot. Bufflin on a man rush. Brian Little hustling back, crosses to William Smith, and it went off the end of his stick. Dustin Bufflin has now won 14 games without a goal. Ladd for Jokinen, away from him, but Little is on it. Brian Little, tight turns. Little trying to get it back to the line, put it right onto the stick of Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Back for Toby Enstrom. With some speed, has Kane with him. Kane chips it deep and goes after it with Andrew Ferentz. Around for Wheeler, he'll let it go to Trouba. Trouba back to Wheeler. Wheeler fires off the crossbar. Kept in by Trouba only briefly. What a wrist shot by Blake Wheeler and off the pipe. 25 seconds left in the power play. Oilers up by 1. Wheeler away from David Perron. Wheeler trying to cut around Jordan Eberle. Couldn't. On the loose puck is Scheifele. Scheifele back for Wheeler. Wheeler looking for Kane. Kane in front. And that rattle off a leg. Jeff Petrie clears it ahead for Eberle. Eberle into the slot looking to get it to that backhand. He lost control of it. David Perron is on it. So no shots on the puck.
This is a 2-goal swing. We're going to go back to the rear of the goalpost. What a shot by Blake Wheeler. They're just unloading. They're going to hit the goalpost right over the shoulder of Brizgalov. That would have made it a tie game. There's Brizgalov for him. Thank you very much, goalpost. And then down at the other end of the ice, back come the Oilers. Good puck control and patience in traffic. And then Petrie coming late on the backside is going to get a chance at it and put it in. There's no way that Thomas will make the save.
Another case of what you talked about in the end of the 6th period. Here's Philly to the line. Bufflin around that one wide. So Perron and Yakupov turn the assists. So Yakupov making the most of not a lot of time. Back at the line for Bufflin. Bufflin looking for traffic to get to the front of the net. Dishes off to Frolik. Had Odell down low. That got off the backboards and taken by Setaguchi. Setaguchi now in the high slot. Got tied up and knocked down. Adam Party for Bufflin. Bufflin trying to drive it to the front of the net. Bufflin stays on it. Lays it behind for Michael Frolik. Frolik trying to work it out front. Bufflin heads to the front of the goal. Jets now starting to get a change in. Frolik. Bufflin on the redirect. And Brizgalov may have got a piece of that. And now lifted ahead for Taylor Hall. Hall gets bumped and knocked off stride there by Adam Party. 4-2 Oilers. And offside called as Blake Wheeler with a head of steam ahead of the play on that left side.
Adam Party with some really slick stick handling here in a dicey situation. Faking that he's going to give it to Buff, cuts back into the middle, gets it over to Buffett, and then backs Buffett up. Buff goes to the front of the net later. The total eclipse in front. He gets a piece of it. Somehow it gets through Brisbala, but doesn't go to the back of the net. Buffett just has bad luck the last several games.
Well, he had that hot run. He had 5 goals in 4 games, 6 goals in 6 games. And now he's got a little team with a goal there. Jordan Kitlock was backwards and almost went off Andre Pavlik and in. Enstrom. Pavlik without a goal stick. And as he gets a stick from Zach Bogosian, now finally does get his goal stick back, tosses Bogosian's away. Enstrom ties up Ryan Smith. And now Pavlik coming to Stewart as he gets aggressive in behind the Jets net on Sam Gagner.
These are the calls when you're a defenseman. It just makes you angry. And Stewart, I think, comes over and has a word with Gagner saying, hey, you got the referee's attention on that one. I didn't even hit you that hard. How are you supposed to make those plays?
So it'll be the 5th power play of the night. Stewart in the box.
Stewart in the penalty box. He pleaded his case. But of course, he's not going to win it. Prior to that, watch this shot off the end wall. A huge rebound. And Pavlik was out of the net. It hit the backside on his right leg and very nearly went in. And he lost the stick in the ensuing play. Oh, that was fortunate because it hit the backside of his left leg, and he knows it. After that, with no stick, Zach Bogosian does the right thing. Got to have a stick. Then the Jets were able to get control of it. Uses one stick to get the other.
Fifth power play of the game for the Edmonton Oilers. They came into this game on a 0-14 run over the last 6 games. They do have a power play goal in this game. Talk about their 6-game losing streak. They were outscored 24-6 over those 6 games. They've got 4 in this game. Gagner tried to make it 5, but he missed the short side. Everly. Back for Gagner. Hemsky plays it for Ferentz. And it bounced off his stick, and Ferentz has to backtrack. Ahead for Everly. Everly for Alex Hemsky. He tried to dance Toby Enstrom. Nothing doing there. And Enstrom will send it down the ice. Andrew Ladd in on the forecheck and down by a couple, despite the fact they're shorthanded. The Jets know that the Edmonton Oilers have given up 8 goals this season when they've had the power play. Smith looking for Everly. Brian Little breaks it up. Round the boards. Hemsky back to the blue line. Justin Schultz the shot. That one off the body in front and wide. Everly. Gagner. Everly. Schultz. Quickly on him was Little. Hemsky. Ryan Smith, the only left-handed shot on this power play. Didn't know where it was, and it gets cleared all the way down the ice. Justin Schultz back to wind it up. Ryan Nugent Hopkins, David Perron, and Taylor Hall. Now on the ice for the Oilers. Corey Potter is the other defenseman. Schultz stays out. Jam it up, and the referee trying to get them to play it. Seconds tip off the clock. Jets shorthanded, and now Trouba gets wrapped up and hauled down in his own end. Enstrom lost his footing, gets it back to Jacob Trouba.
Trouba took a look ahead
Brent Sutter, who was coaching the Canadian junior team, was the coach of that squad.
You know, Craig McTavish would have a great appreciation for that. The terrific face-off man himself as a player.
Setaguchi behind the net looking for Thorburn. He got tied up with Andrew Ferentz. And the puck out to center. Trouba breaks it up. And it's cleared in. And we'll have line changes for both teams. Stewart back for Jacob Trouba. Ahead for Devin Setaguchi. He got knocked down at the line by Jordan Everly. Justin Schultz to center ice, and he'll snap this in. Around the boards, Trouba. Plays it back for Brian Little. Oilers pour in after it. And as the Oilers, their coach wanted to see a response after their 6-0 loss on Saturday. And I think Dallas Eakins and Craig McTavish, and more importantly, the Oilers fans will be very happy with what they've seen from their team tonight. No one said it finally, and they've got blocked. Chance there for Gagne. Kept in by Corey Potter. Stewart ahead for Ladd. Back for Michael Frolik. And now cross ice for Jacob Trouba. Ahead for Frolik. On for Ladd. Ladd gets stopped at the line. Toby Enstrom hustling back. Clears it up the boards. Oilers Taylor Hall trying to get it down to David Perron. And on the back check, Michael Frolik takes it away. Nick Schultz for Petrie. Ahead for Taylor Hall. Watched by Toby Enstrom. Down low for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Oilers control. Petrie at the line for Nick Schultz. Looks for a lane. Fires at him. Either Taylor Hall or Toby Enstrom in front of the net. Back for Blake Wheeler. Looking for Shifley. Shifley tried to get back to the front of the net for Wheeler. Wheeler is after it. Wheeler tried to get it for Kane. That got blocked, and Ryan Smith will start back for the Oilers with Kane after him. Chipped off and blasted in. Adam Hardy stays with Ryan Smith. David Perron tried to get into the front of the net. Stopped by Shifley. Oilers stay on it. Ryan Smith for Boyd Gordon. Gordon gets bumped there by Adam Hardy. Mark Shifley is on the loose puck and plays it to the near corner for Bufflin. Bufflin bounces this, looking for Evander Kane. Knocked away by Schultz. In for Hemsky. That shot is off the heel and is sticking wide. Hardy for Setaguchi. Under 8 to go here in the third. 5-2 Edmonton as they look to snap a 6-game winless streak. In the slot, Jokinen gets it for Stewart. The shot. Stewart with a goal in this game is looking back over. And a save by Oilers got left. Just over 7.5 to go. Taylor Hall with his 14th of the year. Makes it 5-2.
The Oilers has given him a big gap. Let's go back and take a look at it and see what happened. Jacob Trouba has the right idea. There's Enstrom in the corner. Trouba number 8 comes down to the end wall. Now he gets the puck. See, he'd already looked up. See, there's an alleyway there. There's lots of room. He has the right idea. He wants to go up the middle. Go ahead and roll it. But he doesn't execute it properly. It's still airborne. And yeah, that's pretty lucky. I know it's great eye-hand coordination and everything. Trouba should have had a better angle up the middle. Go back to Tim Horton's game plan. Don't forget that the fans, the Jets have forgotten a couple of times when it hurt them. And the Oilers steady as she goes. They'd had a good first period against St. Louis and then really fell apart. It was a train wreck in the second and third. They've been pretty steady in this game.
In the 2 games against the Jets, the Oilers have now had 10 power plays, and they have scored 4 times. They have a couple of power play goals in this game tonight. Trouba gets tripped up at his own end. Play goes on, and it's to the near side boards for Anthony Peluso. Stopped by Yakupov, and Yakupov got buried there. And Mark Stewart, and now Jansen goes after Mark Stewart after the hit. Jansen is
clearly uses some force. There's nothing wrong with that hit. Gaston looked at it, didn't like it, wants to make an impression. Understandable, that's what he's supposed to do. And he makes his impression on Mark Stewart.
So 5 each for fighting from Gaston and Stewart. Sagan is much happier with his club's effort in this game tonight. Minor, extra minor, but ultimately going to Gaston.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's the one that started the whole situation. He deserved an extra 2.
So the Jets on the power play. Extra. Back for Dustin Buffalo. Jokinen, Jets down by 3. Drops it for Jokinen.
12 minutes, 56 seconds. The Jets
Buffalo was playing for Enstrom. Ryan Smith picks up the chase on Enstrom. Back to Buffalo. Slap shot whistled it wide. Buffalo hustles over and keeps it in the Edmonton zone. Jeff Petrie stops that in behind the Oiler net. And Jeff Petrie will send the Jets back.
Boy, a lot of Buffalo shots have missed the net tonight.
Perhaps when you go 14 games without a goal, instead of just getting it on net, you're trying to fine-tune that shot. Barrett was shyly after him. Buffalo's going to hold this at the line. For Wheeler, beyond his reach. And Andrew Ferentz plays it around the boards, but Enstrom reads the play and tracks down the loose puck. Now to Buffalo. Traffic in front. Buffalo puts it there. That goes off the line and ricochets to the near side boards. And the Oilers jump on that loose puck. And Ryan Nugent-Hopkins will send it all the way down the ice. 5th time this season that the high-scoring Oilers have hit the 5-goal mark. It's been an interesting season for them. We talked about the fact they've been shut out 6 times, and that's the surprising part when you see what their offense can do. Evander Kane will leave it for Wheeler. Jets in danger of going 0-5-1 on the season in back-to-backs. In the slot for Kane. 3 goals in the last 4 games for Kane, and that one went off a stick and high. Power play over. And the puck taken by Zach Bogosian.
Kane just couldn't settle that one down. It was a good pass. Wheeler had set him up like he did in the game last night against Vancouver. Kane just couldn't handle it.
So the face-off back into the Jets zone on the icing call. No shots on that power play for the Jets.
They lost a lot of their zip, a lot of their momentum when you're down 3 goals, and it's the second game of back-to-back nights. You can see the wear and tear mentally and physically on the 4 players of the Jets.
Ryan Little a point in this game, giving him 24 in the last 27 games. Zach Bogosian, 3rd game back after coming off injury. And he scores back by Taylor Hall. Trouba. Plays give and go. Trouba. Finds a little bit of room, carries in. Trouba trying to go around Beloff. And Beloff got the shoulder into Trouba and knocked him into the backboards. Across the line for Devin Setaguchi. Trouba now goes in, and Trouba lays the body on Sam Gagner. At the line for Beloff. Beloff down for Gagner, and that cross-ice pass ends up off a stick and out of play. 5-2 in favor of the Edmonton Oilers. 4:10 to go.
I think Trouba had an interesting last year, but he was not a happy man at the end of it, I can tell you that. Trying to get something going offensively up on the play, and Beloff tweaks him around. He goes into the boards hard. Hesitated for a second in getting up, but then worked his way all the way back in the zone. He wanted a piece of somebody, and that guy was Sam Gagner, the first puck carrier in Edmonton that he could get a piece of.
Jets on TSN continues Friday. Back home in TS Center against the Minnesota Wild. Live coverage begins at 6:30 Central here on TSN Jets. 4:10 left to go. his way to Thorburn. Thorburn tried to float this to center ice. And it bounces into the Edmonton zone. On behalf of all of us here at TSN Jets, we wish you a safe and happy holiday season. Here's a turnover, and here comes Taylor Hall with Neely out the puck. And it's 6-2 Oilers. And a 2-point carry for Yakupov.
Frustration from Nelson continues on with a couple of different levels. We're escorting the ball forward towards the penalty box, it looks like, and Thorburn may be headed that direction as well. The Taylor Hall, this was all about getting a point for Neely Yakupov. You have to admire that because Hall had lots of speed. Thorburn is being escorted off the ice, so Thorburn is gone. Buckland is in the penalty box. Buckland got caught up in the play in the offensive zone trying to make something happen, and he gave it up under the tap to the Edmonton Oilers. Buffalo can't handle the play. Yakupov to Hall, and look at Hall. Hall just waiting for the situation to develop. When Carty comes over, he leaves the front of the net. Yakupov, who has really struggled this year to get in the goal, does a nice job of controlling the puck, and then gets a two-handed shot from Buffalo. That's what Yakupov rather was upset about. Watch this afterwards. Gives another chop across the back of the leg there. Yakupov puts the brakes on, and it ensues from there.
So the season series will be 1-1 after the Jets won here 5-4 to open the season. And they'll meet January 18th, a Saturday afternoon game at MTS. And that way off the faceoff, Edward is out on the far side of Yakupov, and he lets it out. Zach Bogosian is in the middle of it.
He's got two guys that are struck to the net. Bogosian has two of them.
It started with Yakupov and left.
Back to the jam of Yakupov. I want to see if Yakupov struck something. Jets hit something.
Jets are down now. The Jets are short-handed.
That's what Bogosian took touch. That was pretty interesting. It shows you how strong Bogosian is. I think he had both Justin Schultz and Andrew Ferentz, and now Bogosian's got it.
So sends his players to the penalty box.
This is right off the face-off. Bogosian's got that. It's the third quarter of the game. Bogosian's got it. Thorburn got it.
Now this will be in response to Gadsden going after Mark Stewart.
And Gadsden, you can see he's got a few words. He's staying in the penalty box. Someone just ruffled the net. Winston Buckland just ruffled the net or something over top of the timekeepers and into the other net.
So Buckland and Gadsden, the two right now, would like to get at each other. Ryan Little, the best word here in the penalty box.
He was one upset to him too when he got in there, Ryan Little. They never even got the puck drop. It started on the Jets' left wing side of the line. Right side of the screen. Watch something get thrown. It's Dustin Buffalo. I don't know what it was. A water bottle. There it is. He throws a water bottle across. Into the Jets' bench. Excuse me, into the Oilers' bench. They were way out of control. It was Rangers coming to the ball. Bogosian grabbed two guys by the scruff of the neck and not let him go. Because he knew his team was outnumbered. Left side of the screen. There's the conversation. And Ladd gives him a couple of jabs, all right. Bogosian wasn't going to take anything. But now, see, look at Bogosian. Two guys right there. And then Brian Little's trying to get a piece of Yakupov as well, too. They wrestle a little bit while Bogosian is taking care of the two defensemen. Anton Lander and Edstrom are away from the play.
It helps at 9'7", he's about 6'12". The linesman defenseman.
Yeah. Well, we won't find out what the conversation was with Andrew Ladd. He's not going to tell us, but you can probably was when he started it, he ended it, and he gave him a shot. Got one back, and he jabbed him with the stick. All the skill to give him.
Yes. Perhaps we need a little gathering at center ice.
And the finals that Christmas, it's much better to give than to receive.
Yes. So makes his way to the dressing room. Brian Lawford, it was him.
That's a short bench now for the Jets. They've got 4 guys that have been sent off. Thorburn, Bogosian, Ladd, and Little are all in the locker room. And this has a lot to do with the end of the game, too. The referees try to control what happens afterwards because once the final siren goes, you have those many guys in the same proximity. Looks like one of the Oilers is going to be escorted across to Yakupov. He's going to be escorted to his locker room, too. Probably a good idea to do this because back in the day, you used to see a lot of them. There'd be 7 guys in the penalty box for each team, and then at the final buzzer, they offer their parting shots on the way off the ice.
Well, Janczyk went off basically at the 13-minute mark, and he got 7 minutes. So the game will pretty much be over by the time he gets back on the ice.
We'll have to keep an eye on Buff and Gafford at the end of this game because they're the ones that are trying the most. Gafford was standing up on the bench at one point, obviously yelling that he wanted a piece of somebody. And that's when Buffalo was on the field right about the cross.
Well, this crowd will go home happy versus the other night. Look at Luke Janczyk. That's kind of where this thing started. At 12:56, good hit by Mark Stewart on Neil Yakupov. Janczyk went after Stewart. And they had a scrap, and then it just went off. When Yakupov got the goal, that's what gave him a run back to the legs.
Next Eric O'Dell is in there serving one of the microphones. That's the one that got on the right side of your screen. There you go again. Mazin was standing up. You barely see Mazin standing up on the bench, yapping away at the Jets bench. That's when threw the water bottle over there. O'Dell in the middle and Mark Stewart.
So right now they've got a 2-minute minor up for Buffalo. That happened right after the goal. And a double minor for Andrew Ladd. They've got a major for Zach Bogosian. They haven't put anything on the Oilers side yet. It's 5-3 in favor of the Edmonton Oilers. Trouba knocks it free. Taylor Hall. Back to the blue line it comes. Corey Potter for Justin Schultz. Schultz watched by Enstrom. Down for Hall and back for Schultz. Now for Potter and back for Schultz. For Hall and Potter kicked away by Andre Pavlik. And taken by Toby Enstrom and cleared all the way down the ice.
That's the shooter that they want to call. He's the left-hand shot on the right wing side.
Not quite sure. Out of all of that, Ladd gets 4 and Bogosian gets 5. And they're not offsetting somewhere in there. There's a lead pass for Evander Kane as he was in behind everyone, but the pass a little bit too far.
The penalties for
Justin Schultz.
number 22, Cliff Thorburn, a 10-minute misconduct.
Thorburn also gets a
Winnipeg number
misconduct.
33, Dustin
Gagne.
Buffalo, 2 minutes for slashing.
Plays this back to the line.
Winnipeg's number 16, Andrew Ladd,
Back to
2
the
minutes
line
for
for
slashing.
And that shot got
2 minutes
cleared
for
away.
cross-checking and a 10-minute misconduct.
Ladd was sanctioned cross-checking and a 10-minute misconduct.
2 minutes for slashing, plus
In across the line. Lee's pass got picked off.
Winnipeg number 44, Zach Bogosian. 5 minutes for spearing, plus a game misconduct.
Bogosian got 5 minutes for spearing. Throws it on the ice, so despite the fact it's 6-2, Malashevsky's on ahead of the camera.
Frustration on about 7 different levels in this game, and a lot of it obviously on the part of the Jets at this point, a little over a minute to go. Stewart and Huffman come out of the penalty box. Their penalties are up.
Stewart's going to head straight to the dressing room.
Top of the screen, you're going to see a stick rolling out on the ice. That's what you were talking about, Dennis. Hemsky fed up with that one. Obviously, it's not working very well.
Missing part of it, that might be why. Trouba sends this down the ice. Mark Stewart has gone straight to the Jets dressing room. In for Belloff. 5-on-3 continues. Here's the call on Stewart, a 10-minute misconduct. Penalty minutes tonight, 74 for the Jets, 15 for the Oilers. Belloff. Back for Petrie and Andre Pavlik, another save. Around the boards, Belloff.
Apparently it wasn't season's greetings when he came out of the bench.
No, he did not wish the officials a Merry Christmas. Or maybe he did. Back for Petrie, slap shot, that hit either Trouba in front or maybe did get to Andre Pavlik. Back for Petrie, another shot and another save by Andre Pavlik. Back for Belloff, he fires it back with the glove save. For a face-off.
Shooting calorie for Andre Pavlik, and he comes up with some more big saves. 5-on-3, the end of the game. The seconds are winding down. The frustration level at its maximum for the Winnipeg Jets, and Pavlik battling for the end.
Shots 30-20 in favor of the Edmonton Oilers as the final few seconds will tick off on this one. All those penalties coming at the 16-16 mark, and the Edmonton Oilers back-to-back losses on this road trip. For the Winnipeg Jets, 2-1 yesterday in Vancouver, and a game that they did not want to get into attack beat with the Edmonton Oilers, and that is what happened. And the Edmonton Oilers played the kind of game, Brian, that they wanted to play.
Yeah, they needed to respond after getting thumped 6-0 by St. Louis. They played the game pretty much the way they wanted. The Jets were okay in stretches, but it got out of hand.
6-2 the final in favor of the Edmonton Oilers.